Ohayou gozaimasu. We're studying lesson 13 kanji. You can follow along by looking at page 276, 277 in your textbook. So the first kanji is the word for things in Japanese, and we know this one as mono, but it also is read butsu. So this is the onyomi, the Chinese reading. This is the kunyomi, the Japanese reading. And you find this in things like tabemono, mono meaning just things, kaimono for shopping, as well as dobutsu, literally things that move. The left radical is cow. And the right radical, if you want to think of it as a pictograph, this is not actually what it is, but maybe like a tail with some long hair here. So the strategy is cows are animals or things that provide food or drink, and that is because we see tabemono and nomimono. That's very common. And the stroke order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is one of my favorite kanji because I think it is quite interesting as a pictograph. It means bird. Its onyomi is cho, with a long vowel, of course, and the kunyomi, the Japanese reading, is tori. So by itself, of course, we use the kunyomi, it's tori, and then we have things like yakitori. Yaku means to grill something or to cook it, so grilled chicken. And then here we have something hakucho. Here then you see the onyomi, and the onyomi for this as well, because we know this as shiroi, but hakucho means swan or white bird. And this is really a pictograph of a bird. So you have the hair or the plume on the top of the head. Here's the bird's head. And then you have kind of like a sort of a, I don't know if this can be a feather, but then you have the wing with the different feathers here. And this is quite easy. For stroke order, it's ichi, ni, so go all the way down. San, shi, go, roku, shichi, don't forget that hook there. Shichi, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi. This kanji means ingredients or fare, and by fare meaning money, like a fare that you would pay to get into something. And they introduce the onyomi here, which is ryo. So we find this in ryori, where ryo means ingredients and ri means measuring. So measuring ingredients is basically cooking. You also find it in ryokin, where the focus here is on money. So ryokin means the charge or the fee. You also see it in things like tuition, which is jugyoryo, where here it also means money. So the strategy for this one is the left and the right radical, the left radical and the right radical, look like rice plants side by side. And the single strokes here then represent sort of grains of rice. And this, of course, is rice is an ingredient in lots of Japanese cooking. So here is your stroke order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that this one's a little bit longer than this one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the second half of ryori, and it means reason or measurement. And the onyomi is ri. So you have, of course, ryori, but you also have things like ryu, which means reason. We also see it in this word, murina. So mu here is a negative prefix. Mu means not or nothing. And then ri here is, in this case, reason. So no reason or impossible. The left radical, so I'm sort of making this one up a little bit, but the left radical looks like markings on a measuring cup. And the right radical is a rice field with land underneath. This actually means a village. That is the original meaning of this entire right-hand radical. But think of measuring the amount of rice you have in your rice field lands or the amount of rice you have in your village. And the stroke order for this is ichi, ni, san, shi. Notice how this is a little bit diagonal here. Shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi. We know some kanji that are similar to this one. This one means special. Notice that this radical on left-hand side is a little different than the ones we've learned for motsu and matsu. The reading for special is toku or to with a small tsu. So you see it in things like tokuni. So especially tokuni, kyou wa tokuni nani mo shimasen. I'm not going to do anything specially today or especially today. Then you have tokubetsu. Tokubetsu means also especially. It's a not adjective. So really the left is the cow radical here, and the right is the temple. So if you want to think of this one, there is a special cow at the temple today. But also then, this is really only one stroke removed from motsu, right? So you have that is the left radical of motsu. If you add one more stroke, maybe you can think of something that someone's holding that's special in their hand. So they're holding something special. Or you can think of the cow scenario. So it's ichi, ni, san, shi. Notice this one's a little bit diagonal. Shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu. Don't forget your hook. And ju. This kanji means cheap, ease, or safety. And it is read in the onyomi, an, that's the Chinese reading, yasu for the Japanese reading. So this is yasui. Also then for the onyomi, the Chinese reading, you have things like anzen, which means safety or safe. So, Lethbridge wa anzen na machi desu ne. Lethbridge is a very safe town. The opposite of anzen is fuan, which is also a not adjective. This means to sort of have a sense of uneasiness or not safe. Unfortunately, this is one of those sexist kanji where this literally means a woman under a roof. And normally I would say that room women under the roof is cheap labor. But you can also think of the woman under the roof is at ease or safe. Sounds a little less sexist that way. But anyway, so the kanji, the top portion is actually u kamuri. So it is katakana u, but it's a radical, so it's modified. And the stroke order is this. It's ichi, ni, san, there's your hook, shi, go, roku. This is the kanji for food or cooked rice, and it's read han. That's the Chinese reading of that. Of course, you find it in things like gohan, or asa gohan, hiru gohan, or sorry, ban gohan, and of course, hiru gohan. The left is the eat radical. That makes sense. We've seen that before. And the right, if you want to think of it this way, is not 100% correct in terms of radical meanings, but think of the right, here's this katakana nu, and it's inside a sort of enclosure here. So think of a noodle stall. And that is your main meal for the day. So it goes ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, and then kyu, ju, juichi, juni. Here's an easy one. It's easy in terms of writing, in terms of meaning. It means meat. Niku is the onyomi, I guess. Actually, that looks like it should be the kunyomi. I guess I'll check that. But anyway, you see it obviously in Niku. We have pointed out the cow radical. That's gyu. Gyu niku is beef. Also then we have tori, which we just learned. Tori niku is chicken. Niku ya means shop, so niku ya is a meat shop. And really, this is a pictograph of meat ribs on a plate. So here's your plate. It's ichi, ni, don't forget your hook. San, shi, shi, go, roku. This kanji means bad or wrong, and it's read aku. For the Chinese reading, that's the onyomi. The kunyomi, the Japanese reading, is waru. Of course, we see it in this word, warui. Kibun ga warui, to feel sick. Also, we see it in sayaku, which you might recognize as a word if you watch anime, or if you watch movies. This is something young people say all the time. Sayaku da. That's the worst. Also, then we see it in akumu. Mu here means dream, bad dream or nightmare. Now, this is a little tricky, this kanji, so I had to come up with something a little bit far-fetched. But anyway, this first radical on top looks like a Roman numeral 2 with a box in the middle. And of course, underneath you find kokoro, heart. So two people with a barrier, like a box, between their hearts. And that's equals a bad relationship or something. But actually, this radical here is more like, it's more like what we call keisemoji. Keisemoji is a phonetic radical, and it is read ah, or some form of ah. So whatever you see this in, it would be read some form of ah. In any case, this is actually the first syllable of my name, ah, abi. Here's the stroke order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Don't forget your hook here. Also, then I notice people tend to write this slightly wrong. So notice that there's 1, 2, 3, and then this stroke over here is slightly outside. Another easy kanji, this means body. The onyomi is tai, the kunyomi is karada, and of course by itself we almost always use the kunyomi, karada, meaning body. And then this is taiju. Taiju is body weight, so literally this means body. This is actually the kanji for omoi, to be heavy. And did we learn this? I think we did actually, because it's car, kuruma, and it has 2 extra wheels on it, right? So it makes it heavier. That's omoi. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This kanji means sky or empty. It's read ku for the onyomi, sora and a for the kunyomi. And you find it in things like kuko, airport, kuki, air. By itself, it's read sora, which means sky. And here we also find it karate, which means empty hand, the art of fighting with empty hands, without weapons. Anyway, I guess that got covered up over there. In any case, the top radical, or the top portion, represents the sky. It's actually ukamuri again. But think of that next part as a paraglider underneath. And the e here is the katakana e, meaning empty, sky to fly in. And the stroke order is 1, 2, 3, that's a hook. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So notice that middle part there, it's not this. It's just basically that, it's almost like when you write 4 and you have that curtain there, but the curtains aren't the same on both sides. This is a difficult kanji, I think. It's port or harbor, and the onyomi is ku. The kunyomi, the Japanese reading, is minato, and we find it in kuko. right? So basically this means sky, harbor, or airport. And minato by itself just means harbor or port. And then you also find it in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is fragrant port. So if you think of Hong Kong as a place where they imported lots of spices, it would be very fragrant in the harbor. The left is the water radical. That makes sense. And then you think of the right as a sail with riggings. So here's your riggings here. And then you have a snake. Remember how we use this? It's not really snake, but it kind of looks like the shape of a snake. So a snake painted on the sail. And this is the stroke order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9。それから10、11、12 with a bit of a hook here. And this actually means to reach or to arrive or to wear. So oddly enough, we have a kanji that means these two different things here. Chaku is the onyomi, the Chinese reading, and it's either tsu or ki, but not ski together. So to arrive is tsuku. So if you arrive somewhere, for example, 空港に着きます, it takes ni. To wear is kiru, right? So kimono. Kimono also contains this. Things that you wear is kimono. And for example, here, if you're arriving in Osaka, your ticket might say Osaka chaku. And the strategy for this is I saw where the eyeball is at the bottom here, a sheep. The top part is a sheep wearing clothes with a tail coming out the back. So here's a pictograph right here. And the stroke order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how these aren't exactly the same length, each one of them. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another easy one, this one means same. It's read do, that's the onyomi, the Chinese reading. This is the kunyomi, ona. And it's read onaji, where of course ji then is written in hiragana. Do kyusei, where do here means same. Q is level and sei is student. So same level student means classmate in Japanese. Also, you can say things like doji. Doji means same time. So doji ni iimashita. We said it at the same time. Here's a strategy. People can exit and enter through the same gate because this does sort of look like a gate. And this, of course, represents exit or entrance. Or you can think of one entrance, one exit. It's the same thing. This is how you write it. The stroke order is 1, 2, hook here, no break here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Another easy kanji. This is si. It's read kai for the onyomi, umi for the kunyomi. And of course, we see it. It's umi by itself. It's almost always the kunyomi there. Nihonkai is the Japan Sea. Here we see the onyomi. And then also kaigai, meaning overseas. The left is the water radical. That makes sense. And the right we already know as every, mainichi no mai. So think of every ocean has water. The stroke order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I see people writing this really weirdly sometimes, like with my, I see this. I see people making a diamond and sort of doing this thing. But remember, this is more like a square where you have the inside that looks like that. So you just have, I mean, a slight kind of diagonal here, but it's not so you know, so extreme as what I've been seeing. It's not a kite like that. It's more of a square. The last kanji means noon or daytime. It looks difficult, but it's actually quite an easy kanji. It's read chu in its onyomi, Chinese reading, hiru for the kunyomi, the Japanese reading. Of course, by itself, it's read hiru, noon or daytime. Then you have hiru gohan, which we've learned in a previous slide. Hirune, don't know if you remember that kanji, but it means noon sleep, so nap. And then you have hiruyasumi, which means lunch break. This is basically, if you want to think of it this way, as a pictograph of a window with curtains. So here are the curtains, right? You have that part. And then you open up the window or the curtains to let the sun in at noon. And so you have, here's the sun, and this is the bottom of the window right here. And so this is, the stroke order for this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then Q. So this is a bit longer than this right here, right? So you want to make that just a little bit longer.